Most of what you've been told about losing weight is a flat out lie. You do not need to starve yourself, you don't need to spend hours suffering on a treadmill, and you absolutely do not need to cut out all the foods you love. In fact, I can almost guarantee you've believed at least 3 massive fat loss myths your entire life, including a complete misunderstanding of exactly where fat goes when it leaves your body, and why the tool you trust the most to track your progress is actively tricking you into quitting. If you approach this the wrong way, your body enters a panic state. Instead of melting fat, it starts destroying something else entirely, which completely crushes your metabolism from the inside out. Today, we are stripping away the myths and looking strictly at the data. I'm going to explain fat loss in a way that finally makes sense, simple, science-based, and practical. In this video, you will discover the exact biological mechanics of how your body stores fat, how to find the one crucial number that predicts your success, and the 5 non-negotiable laws you must execute to truly transform your body. At the end of the day, the best exercise is simply the one you'll actually stick to. But if we're looking strictly at the data, strength training is king for fat loss. It burns tons of calories while you lift, but more importantly, it preserves your muscle mass while the fat drops off. Now, if you don't like lifting, don't worry. There are 3 other great options you can choose. First is HIIT, high-intensity interval training, like sprinting and jump rope, which burns a high volume of calories in a very short window. Second is walking, which is easily the most underrated tool in fitness. Getting 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day quietly creates massive fat loss over time without destroying your joints. Think about it this way. That intense 1-hour gym workout only accounts for about 5% of your total daily calorie burn. The real magic happens through NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's just a fancy term for everyday movement. Pacing while you're on the phone, fidgeting at your desk, taking the stairs, or carrying groceries. NEAT accounts for a massive 15 to 30% of your daily energy expenditure. You don't lose fat by destroying yourself for an hour in the gym. You lose it by staying subtly active during the other 23 hours of the day. Third is swimming or cycling. Both give you a massive calorie burn while being incredibly gentle on your knees and lower back. Before we go any further though, we have to bust the biggest myth in fitness, spot reduction. A lot of people still think doing crunches will target belly fat. It won't. Spot reduction is a myth. Your body decides where it sheds fat based almost entirely on your genetics and your hormones. But you can speed up overall fat loss by focusing on 4 things: lowering your stress and cortisol levels, eating more fiber, cutting back on refined carbs, and cutting out alcohol. And speaking of things to cut, watch out for the ghost calories hidden in drinks. Your brain doesn't process liquid calories the same way it handles solid food. When you drink a 400-calorie sugary coffee or a soda, your body completely fails to trigger your fullness hormone, leptin. Your brain registers the drink as 0 volume, so you end up eating the exact same amount of solid food later anyway. Drinking your calories is essentially turning off your brain's fullness switch. In this video, we're breaking down the exact science of how your body stores fat, how to calculate your personal numbers, and the 5 laws you must follow to truly transform your body. Let's start with a weird biological fact. Most people think that sweating is how you burn fat. In reality, sweating is just your body's cooling mechanism to expel water and electrolytes. It has nothing to do with actual fat loss. So, if fat doesn't leave your body through sweat, where does it go? You quite literally breathe it out. The data shows that 84% of fat is exhaled as carbon dioxide, while the remaining 16% leaves your body as water through urine and tears. Every time you lock in your diet and movement, you are exhaling your fat away. But carrying severe excess weight isn't just about how you look. It's a survival issue. It can shorten your life expectancy by up to 14 years. Medical science breaks obesity down into 3 distinct classes. Class 1, which is a BMI of 30 to 35, reduces life expectancy by an average of 3 years. Class 2, a BMI of 35 to 40, cuts 6 to 7 years off your life. Class 3, a BMI of 40 or higher, strips 10 to 14 years away from your lifespan. Calculating your BMI to see where you stand is incredibly easy. If you use the imperial system, the formula is BMI equals weight in pounds multiplied by 703 divided by height in inches squared. Take a second to run your numbers. Knowing your baseline is the first step to fixing your health. Now, let's talk about the tool that plays a far bigger role than any exercise style: your diet. The golden rule of fitness is that nutrition is roughly 80% of your success and exercise is 20%. You simply cannot out-train a bad diet. To make this work, you just need to understand one number. your daily maintenance calories. This is the total amount of energy your body burns every single day through living, moving, and digesting food. To trigger fat loss, you just need to eat slightly less than that baseline number. Go online, find your daily calorie target, and subtract 300 to 500 calories from it. Because you're giving your body slightly less food than it needs, it is forced to burn your stored body fat for energy instead. That is how you get steady, permanent weight loss without starving yourself. But please do not make the mistake of starving yourself. When you drop your calories drastically, your body enters a state of metabolic crisis, tearing down muscle tissue while desperately clinging to fat. To protect that muscle, you need a simple high protein plan. Aim for 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of your target body weight daily. By hitting this target, you unlock a massive metabolic advantage called the thermic effect of food. When you eat processed carbs or fats, your body only spends about 0 to 5% of those calories just trying to digest them. But when you eat lean protein, your body has to spend an incredible 20 to 30% of those calories just to chew, break down, and process it. Protein has a built-in metabolic tax. If you eat 100 calories of chicken breast, your body instantly burns roughly 30 of those calories just trying to digest the meal. On top of that, protein keeps you full by crushing your craving hormones. Once your calories are locked in, your hormones take the driver's seat and dictate exactly where you store fat. In females, estrogen naturally directs fat storage to the hips and breasts. Men lack high estrogen, so when they gain weight, that excess fat goes straight to the belly as visceral fat. And let's be entirely blunt. Belly fat is incredibly dangerous. It's visceral fat, meaning it's stored deep inside your abdomen, wrapped tightly around vital organs like your liver, pancreas, and intestines. Visceral fat acts like an inflammatory organ, pumping free fatty acids directly into your liver, raising your blood pressure, and directly causing heart disease. It's a direct killer. About 1 in 5 heart attacks in the US are linked to obesity. It also destroys your joints. For every single extra pound of body weight you carry, an extra 4 pounds of force is applied to your knees during daily walking. That force spikes up to 7 pounds of pressure when you're walking downstairs. The good news? Studies show that losing just 10% of your body weight reduces knee pain by up to 50% over time. It is so powerful that weight loss is now the primary treatment recommended for knee osteoarthritis. Even when you give 100% effort, there are invisible forces that will try to pull you back. The first is genetics. Your DNA affects your metabolic rate, your baseline hormone levels, and your muscle fiber type. But genetics is just a handicap, not a death sentence. It might take you slightly longer than someone else, but the exact same physical laws apply to everyone. You can beat your genetics with consistency. The second thing that will try to trick you is the weighing machine, which is why millions of people quit by week 3. The machine doesn't just weigh fat, it measures muscle, bone, and water. When you start a new diet and workout routine, your body experiences physical stress and releases cortisol. Cortisol forces your cells to hold onto temporary water weight like a sponge, completely masking your progress. The fat is melting, but the water is hiding it. Stop letting a weighing machine trick you into. What you cannot beat, however, is a lack of sleep. Sleep deprivation will silently destroy your progress. When you sleep less than 7 hours a night, your hunger hormone, ghrelin, spikes dramatically, while your fullness hormone, leptin, plummets. Your cravings for refined carbs and sugar intensify by over 30%, and your body becomes highly resistant to burning fat. If you're sleeping only 5 hours a night, you are actively fighting a losing battle against your own biology. When you combine endless cardio, starvation diets, and poor sleep, your body panics and aggressively tears down its own muscle tissue for fuel. Up to 50% of the weight you drop on a crash diet comes from pure muscle, not fat. This destroys your baseline metabolism and leaves you looking skinny fat, soft, loose, and just a physically smaller version of your previous self. You aren't actually getting leaner, you're just shrinking your metabolic engine. So let's simplify everything. If you want to permanently melt the fat away, you only have to execute these 5 exact laws. Law 1. Eat in a moderate calorie deficit while maintaining a high protein intake. Law 2. Lift weights and focus on strength training 3 to 4 times a week. Law 3. Walk a minimum of 8,000 steps every single day. Law 4. Protect your brain and metabolism by getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Law 5. Be completely relentless and remain consistent for at least 12 weeks before you judge your results. Stop looking for shortcuts. Trust the underlying biology, put in the daily work, and watch your body transform. If you found this video valuable, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below with your starting goal, and I'll see you in the next video.